For those of you who don't know what this beautiful skyline is behind us, we are in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
You're Canadian now. Why is this so hard?
We're here in Calgary, thrifting, but this wasn't the beginning of our trip, but you're gonna see the end first. This is like a memento type movie where we're gonna show you the end of the trip first and then work backwards. It's really artistic.
Yeah,
it's an artsy thing.
It's a thing we have planned. We want to take you back in time and make you feel like you're time traveling with us. We are very excited for today's episode. We're going to start it out here, thrifting and antique shopping here in Calgary. And then we are going to take you to Vancouver, BC, where the trip started. And we are going to take you on one of the most scenic and stunning, incredible train rides in the entire world, the Rocky Mountaineer. Our first thrift store we're hitting in Calgary is Wynn's Family Thrift Store. This is the first time that I've ever heard of this chain, so this must be specific to this area. This is interesting. It looks Mayan. It's got the little Aztec warrior faces on it. $3.
Mayan ashtray.
That's kind of different. I haven't seen that before. We usually pick up the bookends. Oh, that's neat. What is that? That's just a glaze imperfection, but that is so cool. It looks very handmade, but in a really good way. Does it have a signature on it?
Yeah.
Oh, it does. It has an artist stamp.
JMT? Even though it's taped on here, I'm afraid the lid's gonna pop up.
Be careful. It's $25. I see FMT maybe. Like a lowercase FM and then T.
Yeah.
Let's get that. That's really different. It's really cool. It would be a statement on a shelf.
Let's look that up.
Yeah, good find. Love it.
It's cool.
We're gonna check the coffee mug section just in case there's any little cups that go with it. Sometimes they get separated and dispersed throughout the store. Those are neat. Pencil holders. You'd use it as a vase too. That one's only $3. I don't see any big chips or cracks. There's another one. Oh, this one has even prettier color to it at $3. I'm just gonna get this one.
Small one.
It's smaller. I like the colors on it a little. I don't know. Now that I think about it, you could have both of them next to each other with a little tea light candle in it, since this stone is translucent. Oh my gosh, it's the same signature. And it has a $60.
So is that JMT?
JMT.
That one's a little clearer to read.
It is, and it has a $60 price tag.
All right, let's take a look.
Let's look at JMT. So this teapot was $75 on sale, and they've got $25 on it. Really cool design.
JMT Ceramics, handmade artisan pottery in Auckland, New Zealand.
No way. Oh, that's neat. Maybe somebody
If it's
went on
the
vacation
same, let me
there.
see if the stamp is.
Yeah, check the stamp. These are really beautiful. I also like this. I wonder if this is actually vintage IKEA. It's similar to a red vintage IKEA fruit bowl. It's $3.
JMT Ceramics in Calgary, Canada.
Oh, well, that would make way more sense than from
Yeah,
Auckland.
they have an Etsy store.
Oh, wonderful.
I think it's a local artist.
Oh, very cool. Well, I think we get the one teapot because I think that that's just so
There's the
unique.
exact ones on there.
Oh, yeah, for $30 each tumbler.
Canadian.
Canadian dollars, correct. I think we just get the one teapot and we pass up on those, even though they're really cool, because that one's just so different and so unique. That's so cool. We got to learn about a local potter, too. This is all kind of a collage style with stitched fabric and cutout fabric. It's a pretty cool scene, and it's $15. I like it. I'm interested to learn more about it.
Want to get it?
Yeah, let's get it. Let's go for it.
It's just about the glass and the frame. It's nothing about
no
the art.
artist information. Well, we've got something to Google on the flight home, right? Bridge to the elevators, 1928. Our second stop of the day is Value Village, and I think we're actually going to visit a few Value Villages today. Every Tuesday, 30% off for senior discounts. That's a pretty legit sale.
We got a senior with us today.
We sure do. These are beautiful little glasses. They are $3.99 for the set of 5. I want to get these because I want to make mint tea at home. And these look very similar to some of the little glasses that they serve the mint tea in Morocco. Yeah, let's get the set of 5 of those. It's only $3.99 for the whole set. I'm really impressed by how much art they have here. There's tons of it. And actually quite a bit of original art too.
This would be cool. Vanity for a bathroom. Put a sink on top.
Yeah, that would make a great little vanity.
Yeah.
$20.99. Our next spot is a Salvation Army. This one is just around the corner from the Value Village we were just at. Literally 1-minute drive. Beautiful Mexican pottery. I've actually had several bowls very similar to this. This one's $2.99.
Fish on a platter.
I know, don't you remember the last time I did that to you?
I love this vase. It's a signed Navajo piece. It's $5.99 and it says Ray, maybe Ray Ned. I'll have to do some research. I'm not familiar with the artist, but that's really beautiful. And then this one's kind of cool too. It has a face in it. I think that's very pretty. $3.99. Oh, it's for incense. Or you put a tea light in there and you can put your oils, essential oils, and it's a warmer. Pretty. We're gonna get this one though.
This little bad
Yeah,
boy.
grab that little guy. Let's take a look at that. It's signed $4.99. That's really pretty. Oh my goodness,
yeah.
look, it's the Tom Thompson.
Yeah.
That's so cool because we're in Canada and he's from Canada. So we found that exact same art piece at a Goodwill a while back.
See it? Does it come through?
I don't know if you can see. It doesn't quite do the 3D effect on camera. The changes 3D, so it kind of pops out at you. I think that's Calgary.
Oh yeah, a little sketch.
That's kind of a cool souvenir.
Do you want a keepsake?
Yeah, let's get that as a souvenir.
That's nice. I think this was done a while ago though, because there's some buildings that I noticed from our window that are not on here.
Oh, you're right.
No, 1991.
There you go.
It was a while ago. This tower is like surrounded by buildings. I wonder if you can even see from it anymore, like a view, because there's such tall buildings all the way around it. Yeah.
Maybe just out one direction. We have a view of this. This is a little obstructed because of that. And then whatever's right here turned colors, or maybe it was this building, turned colors last night.
Yes.
It was so cool. So remember when we found that little piece of wood and I wasn't quite sure what it was? And then we Googled it and it said it was a Tahitian drum. I think that's what this is. And it even has the little drumstick, $12.99. Do you hit the side?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it changes.
You can take lessons. Sounds like you're just tapping randomly.
I know. Well, I mean, I was.
Yeah, you were.
Here's a single teak bowl. Ooh, $6.99. It says it's a set, so there might be more that go with it. And then I also really like this tray. I think that would be really nice cleaned up. Looks kind of like our floors in our basement.
Oh yeah, like a parquet almost.
Yeah, $4.99. Yeah, let's do that too. There's a whole set of this pottery, and I think it's $34.99 for the whole set. I think Nancy might get it. It's a local Canadian potter. Definitely going to be getting this. And quite literally 1 minute away from the Salvation Army is Goodwill. This is pretty great. It's an entire thrift quarter. There's like 5 thrift stores all within 2 minutes of each other. Hey, red tag. This is only $1. That's incredible. I'm not gonna get it, but it's beautiful and it's only $1.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's new, made in China. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Victoria Littlejohn, the teal stuff that we have that kind of has that almost sea urchin look to it.
Yeah, it's
it?
I don't know, someone's interpretation of, like, you know when you go to the ocean in those certain spots and there's like the arch rock that you can sail through? That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah,
it's probably
like
a bookend.
In, Rockaway Beach.
Assuming it's a bookend.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. It's fun how there's just different stuff, but then there's a lot of the same stuff. Everywhere we go in the world, it's slightly different.
I saw these at the other store too. I think they're
Overstock donated?
yeah, I think it's just new
Could be.
overstock.
Wow, this is a large bowl. It's only $10. Let's see a signature. Well, these are kind of cute. Very 70s little mushroom salt and pepper shakers. $5. Oh, they're from Canada. NP Canada. These are actually pretty cute. They're not quite my style. Looks like there's a little chip right here, but they're cute. A lot of pottery.
Yeah, we
Looks
noticed
like
that
local
in,
stuff.
in BC too. A lot of BC pottery as well.
One minute away from the Goodwill is the MCC thrift shop. $4. This is cool. Check this piece out. Isn't that neat?
Gorgeous.
The abstract and the colors.
That's really pretty.
This one too. I think I'll pass on the plain one. You're Canadian now. Jesse's heritage is from this city.
Yeah, fun fact, I'm a quarter Canadian.
And his grandfather was born and raised here in Calgary. This is from the museum, the MMA. So it's a replica of something old.
Cool.
These are nice sized dishes. They're only $1 each. And they're in pretty much perfect condition. They have a little bit of the crazing.
I love this green. That
It's
green is
really
good.
pretty. It's kind of pea green in the best way. That's pretty too. Is that folk art? Jerusalem. That's beautiful. $1.
I looked at that immediately.
It's a beautiful set. I love Denby. It's just so timeless. This has got to be one of the nicest sets I've seen too. You know, unfortunately dishware just doesn't sell great. I found 2 bracelets on the bargain rack. It was only $1 to $2 per item.
Are they giraffes?
They are.
They're like black and white giraffes. They're like zebra giraffes.
They are.
They're giraffes.
And then this is copper. Now we are about 15 minutes away and we've got another
30%
cluster
off.
of thrift stores we're gonna hit. And the first one is Value Village. Nancy's hooking us up. Seniors get 30% off.
60 or plus. 30% off.
Jess is gonna play us a tune.
Yeah.
These would not do well in the luggage, but they're, oh dear God, there's a spider, oh my God.
It's a dead spider. It is a crispy spider.
It's a crispy one.
It's a fossil. It's a
I really
spider
like those,
fossil.
though. Oh gosh, that was terrifying. Oh, I just shuddered. Ugh, sorry about that, folks. I think this is newer. Double-sided. You can do vase or candle holder.
I'm telling you what the flip it is.
Whoa, it's a stopper.
It's some kind of stopper.
I love it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it, but I thought I wanted to show you. Just,
She's
I mean,
wild.
you could have it, but I think it's some kind of stopper,
Yeah,
right?
did it come with anything? Where's
no,
the price
it was
tag?
just laying in the, yeah.
She was just all lonesome?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get her because
Yeah,
she's
kinda
wild and
cool,
weird.
right? 30% off, don't forget.
So we asked about this and it doesn't have a price on it. And they said that we can ask at the front counter to get a price. But while we were talking to her, we looked it up and it is a hookah stem. That's why there's a hole in the top and it looks like a stopper in the bottom. So you would plug that into probably some kind of a glass fixture.
You have like probably a glass piece or something that.
Interesting. Yeah. Very cool. Well, now we kind of know what to look for to see if we can find what actually goes with it.
Like old barbecue equipment.
Are those ceramic?
No.
Plastic?
It's like how golf clubs used to be. It's just like old barbecue tools. This is kind of cool.
Is this a little elephant? He's missing his head. Toothpick holder? This is pretty. It's got a crack in it though. That's too bad. Oh, this is stone.
Really?
Yeah, $14.99. It says set. Oh, that's really cool. Do we see a baby horse? Does it have a baby?
Right.
What is it a set with? A dolphin?
I don't think so.
Alligator? I don't know what it goes with. I think somebody bought the other one and just maybe said it wasn't priced. Look at this massive Bernard buffet from 1955. It's a giant print. That's a good one. I like that one. This stuff's amazing. So this one actually has the Blue Mountain Pottery BMP Canada on it. It's a pretty impressive collection. I'm sure somebody donated the entire set. Let's look at this one back here.
Is there like a face back there?
I think it's a totem. Calgary, Alberta. See, it's such a great way to get souvenirs. $24.99. It says set.
Oh, it's for the whole set.
Oh,
of
wow.
Blue Mountain pottery.
Do you really think so? Because that would actually be an incredible price.
I think so.
8 at $24.99 for the set. Oh man, that's tempting. It's beautiful. I love it. I'm gonna leave it here for a local. It's a really great price.
It's a good deal.
We could go to a Mariners game. Sweet. I know what that is. How absolutely clever is this name? Where on earth did you get that? We're checking out our first antique mall in Calgary. Look how cute they are. Those are adorable. They're new. Wow, but they're so cute. This is the same little guy that I found in Belgium, actually, right? Is that Belgium? I think so. I think it was the Brussels flea market, and I have it in copper, and it's just missing that base. They're inkwells.
Thing. I was looking at a magazine there talking about how miniature little things like this are in, or I don't know, when
They're
we
all
were
the
in
rage.
Sweden, they had at the Lisa Larson Museum kind of thing. They had all kinds of them.
Really? They were expensive. These are really adorable.
I may come back here.
Yeah, we might have to be twins. Nancy and I always end up somehow twinning. And we get the same thing. That might be it. I'm gonna get this brass scoop. It's gold, and it's only $14.95 Canadian dollars. This set is incredible. It's got the cocktail shaker and all of the original glasses, and they're in perfect condition. Nancy, do you need this for your house since you love Orange Crush?
My Orange Crush.
I think we need a gas pump somewhere in our house.
Oh, I would love to have a gas pump in the driveway with gas in
No
it.
way.
Then I'd never have to go to the gas station.
That would be hilarious. No, he didn't.
Yes, he had one because he was a rural mailman in Escanaba up in UP.
Look at the birds. We're geeking out in this space. The art. Wow. This is a really good space.
Not part of Scandinavia, by the way, people.
We taught Nancy because we got taught on YouTube, and now we taught
Yes,
Nancy.
and I was very disappointed as part of the Nordic.
It's hard when you grow up your whole life
Okay,
thinking
those
and
are
knowing
so
something,
cool.
and then you're wrong. Wow. $80 for that one. Look at the design on this one. $120. I have a piece or two actually by this Danish artist. I just read a Penguin Ice book in Canada. That's so funny. Here's the kitty cats I want. Let's see how much they are. $59. That's actually not bad at all. We saw them at the Northwest largest garage sale for $125 for the set. Too funny. We just saw the same artist at Time Traveler Antiques not that long ago, but it makes sense it's here because it's a Canadian artist. This is incredible. Italian FF Fratelli Fanciulli, 1960s. I probably said that wrong. I always do. $325. I've never seen it with the horses. That's amazing. So sometimes you'll see the Italy similar to Batossi, and then sometimes you'll just see FF next to it. This they obviously identified without that, but look for that FF. This ice bucket is going to go with our new decanter set. It has a leather handle. It's $4.50.
Oh,
Set of 7.
what do we got here?
How much are they? $10.50 for the whole set.
Oh,
That's not bad. Why do I love this pig so much?
I don't know. It'd
I'm
be
not quite sure why, Laura. He's only $3.50. He's so cute.
We are super thrilled with Calgary. I think that this is a place I would absolutely come back to, specifically for the people, the food, and the antiques and thrifting. I was really impressed.
Yeah, the people here have been so nice and so welcoming. The city is pretty quiet for a big city. It's pretty easy to get around. The traffic's not terrible. I like the thrifting because they had like little thrift clusters.
Yes.
So you could like go to one area and you can thrift 3 stores and they were right next to each other.
A couple times there was even 1 or 2 thrift stores in the area that we hadn't even found when we were doing research, and we just drove by them and we were like, "Arr!" It was nice having a rental car so that we could do that. So there are these wonderful little clusters and we just tapped the surface. I mean, we only had 1 full day of thrifting here. I feel like we easily could have had 2 full days and maybe still not have even seen it all.
We'll be back.
Fun fact about Jesse,
I'm a quarter Canadian.
his grandfather grew up here in Calgary.
Yes.
Born and raised.
Yes.
So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
If you are from Calgary or the surrounding areas and we did not make it to maybe your antique mall or where you're a vendor at or your favorite thrift spots, please comment below because we really want to support this community. I think it would be a great way to use this video as an actual guide of where to thrift, but we know we didn't hit all the spots. So please comment below and we will try to pin those comments and thumbs them up to make sure that people that are going to be doing a trip here to kind of check out Calgary and check out Canada can see those comments and have more of a full itinerary.
I wish we had another day. I would drive up to Edmonton
Oh, yes.
and then, because it's only a couple hours away, and shop Edmonton too.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Look at the owls. There's 2 of them and they're all together. I'm in pottery heaven right now. Look at this. Oh my goodness. It just doesn't end.
Oh
No
my
way.
gosh, it's Elisa.
It is Elisa Larson. I've never seen this one before.
So perfectly made.
And so he was the director at
Yeah,
Copenhagen?
that's his personal mark, and then this is the Royal Copenhagen Faience mark. And I think this is possibly the painter's mark. Larson would have been the designer.
Is it from the 70s, 60s?
60s or 70s, yeah.
This is one of the most incredible mirrors I've ever seen, and it needs to live in a hobbit hole. That is amazing. We're checking out a place called Woo Vintage Clothing, and it looks good. I'm gonna try to find a hat because I forgot my hats today on this trip. So I'm looking for a Pendleton coat, but I'm looking for a long one. That one's too short. Not quite right. This is actually a really cool idea for what you could do if you have just a plain coat that you thrift. Then you can go in and accessorize it with some embroidery and beads.
Yeah.
That's cute.
It's like a fancy bathrobe.
A fancy bathrobe.
Kind of, doesn't it give
I mean,
you
a little bit
bathrobe
bathrobe vibes. A little bit. It's not quite right. It's so close. I like it because it's like I'm wearing the Grinch. Like the Grinch who stole Christmas in like a good way. I feel like it's not falling right. Like one eye covered. Is that a good look? Okay. This entire main street is filled with little antique stores, food places, restaurants, even a couple thrift stores. So we're kind of thrifting our way up and down Main Street. They put them in the glass cloches. That's a really great way to display them. I like it. Last thing I need to be buying right now is a lamp to bring home, but look at that. I would put a different shade, not the chevron one, but man, that's a good lamp. What is this tapestry? We need to look at this tapestry. Okay, no, go the other way.
This is algae.
Maybe it is a fish. Go the other way.
It is.
Upside down, Jesse. Keep going. Just keep rotating either way. One more. One more. It's a fish. Nancy's right. It's a fish.
There's like the algae, but you got it upside down.
Turn it the other way with that as the
This
top.
is his eye. This is his little frowny mouth.
Yeah.
That's his dorsal fin.
So turn it the other way and see what we were thinking. No. Why is this so hard? See, we were thinking those were the wings and that was the tail and that was the beak. It's definitely a fish. I kind of really like this lamp too. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I'm not into the spun fiberglass sticky stuff, but I really like the base of it. It's just very different. That's amazing. $4.29. It's the Potosi Rooster. We're recognizing so many things from our house. This is like the large blue one we have, and then this is like our cool little faces that are from Mexico.
Called Brooklyn Studio Pottery. He did all the firing of the pieces, and then she would do all the hand, like the
Wow, that's a good way to do it. It's a
yeah.
duo.
And they did some like these were my favorite, the more geometric abstracts.
What was the name of them again?
Theo and Susan Harlander. So they came
Harlander.
from Germany in the late 1950s.
Oh,
That's
that one's
their
neat
style
too.
of work. Yeah.
Very cool.
Extremely well. He does all the kind of color. He was like a Swiss designer, but this was Potosi. This is Potosi, but it's Dubinkoff pottery, and it was only made in like '62.
Just one year.
Just 1 year.
One run.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I love the almost volcanic.
The mixture of
yeah.
the textures with the high gloss. That's great.
Yeah. And then that was Bagney, which is
I
another-
love Albino Bagney.
Yeah,
I love
and that's
him.
for Raymore, and that was inspired by a visit to the Pompidou Center in Paris because it's got that kind of tubular look.
Okay.
So there's actually an interlocking piece that would have come with it originally. It kind of goes up.
Two separate pieces that go
Two
together.
separate pieces. Yeah, I don't know if they were sold together or not, but it was only made in '79.
We're going to check out the Green Thrift Store. This place was recommended by quite a few people, so we're really excited. Oh, this is beautiful. 16. Look at this. We just found out we're going to see hawks in Banff. We're very excited about that. Jesse just found a Batosi. It's the second one.
My signature Batosi find.
I can't believe you just found
I
this.
just found
How much is it?
Batosi for $15.
And it has the originals.
The Rosenthal Netter tag right there.
Babe, I'm so excited for you. Happy birthday to me. Just kidding.
These are like my penguin ice bucket. These just follow me everywhere.
He's glowing. He's literally glowing.
Do you want it? Should we get it?
This is a 3-panel room divider. Oh, and the lamp
you were
too.
talking about the lamp.
No, I just saw the lamp. I was so taken aback by this beautiful wood. I like this Art Nouveau picture back there, or a vase. Beautiful. Who is that? NYTCH? Can't tell.
Music bus.
Switzerland. Roses du Sud. Oh, that's adorable with the little sheep. I've never in all my thrifting days seen this many pots and pans in one aisle.
And they're all like organized too. Look at those handles.
Wow.
It's almost an art installation.
Good job. They did a good job displaying it, and everything actually looks clean. So I just said, who are these little ladies? Because I've never seen them before. The answer is, to me, for me, by me.
I didn't know you were so talented.
Yes, all me. I like this dish. Go figure, it's on a pedestal, so I love it. Oh, it's got a crack in it. Too bad. Those are nice little Denbys. $12.99 for each cup and saucer, or is it? Yes, a set of 2. That would add up fast.
Yeah, that would.
We don't ever get our thrift stores to put things in little bags very often. None of the Goodwills do. I always get excited when I see these little bags.
I think it's a Value Village thing. I've seen it a lot at Value Village where they just kind of bag up stuff.
They do, and they do it at some of the red, white, and blue thrift stores that we've been to in Pennsylvania and around the country. But I feel like you just really don't know what you're gonna get. That makes it kind of fun. Me and King Tut have something in common. We like blue eyeliner.
Now I'm excited for you to come with us on this journey from Vancouver, BC to Banff on the Rocky Mountaineer train.
This is going to be the car that we're in. We're going to be in this little top section up here. Well, it's not little, it's big. It just kind of looks little because of the windows, and you can see out the roof. It's going to be so exciting. So we're actually just waiting right now for them to call the all aboard, and then we're getting on.
Morning.
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 See your boarding passes there, my friends?
Yes.
We're going to turn the CBO7, seats 65 and 66. Just head on upstairs, follow everybody. You're going to go.
In 2015, I took a solo train journey across the United States from Portland, Oregon, all the way to New York City. I did this on the Amtrak train, and it was one of the most exciting and interesting trips I've ever taken. I still think about it often. I met incredible people and really fell in love with train travel. Jesse and I both have April birthdays, so this year, to celebrate our birthday month, we decided to take the Rocky Mountaineer train from Vancouver, BC to Banff. This is a train journey I've been dreaming about for probably 4 years, since the first time I ever saw it on Instagram. We took the Rocky Mountaineer's first passage to the West journey, and it's a 2-day journey through the heart of the Canadian Rockies. Day 1, you will be winding through Fraser's Valley and past Hell's Gate. We got so lucky with the spring weather, and we had blue skies for both days of our journey. The halfway point is Kamloops, and we spent a great night there. We had a wonderful dinner, and we made it just in time to watch the sunset over the river. Day 2 is where it really gets good. This is where the drama begins as the train climbs up into the Rockies. The staff on the train is incredible, and they will let you know when you're coming up to something special to keep an eye out for. Whether it's wildlife like bald eagles in a nest, which we saw from the train, or if you're about to go through the spiral tunnels. I had a really hard time staying in my seat, even with those incredible windows, because I love the fresh air and breeze. So I ended up spending a lot of time snapping photos and videos from the viewing platform. There are 2 different packages you can book on the Rocky Mountaineer. There's Silver Leaf, which means you will be in a single level coach. You'll have giant panoramic windows, enjoy delicious meals. It's going to be gourmet, not airline food, free drinks and snacks, and the views are incredible. But I highly recommend that you splurge and do the Gold Leaf package, because that is where the magic happens. Your seats will be in a 2-level glass dome coach that gives you 360 mountain views upstairs. And downstairs is the dining room where you're gonna go for your breakfast and your lunch. The views are a higher tier, and the food is also a higher tier. And then you're gonna get access to the outdoor viewing platform. Either way, you're going to have top-notch service for riding a train, fantastic commentary from the hosts, and some of the best scenery in Canada. By the way, this is not sponsored, and I don't even have an affiliate link. I truly just wanted to share this experience with you and take you on this scenic train through British Columbia into Alberta. The Rocky Mountaineer package included 2 nights in Vancouver, BC, 1 night in Kamloops, and 2 nights in Banff. and we got to stay at the Banff Springs Hotel. It's now known as the Fairmont Banff Springs, and it's one of Canada's most iconic and historical hotels. It was originally opened in 1888 by the Canadian Pacific Railway as part of the grand plan to encourage luxury tourism. The idea was to attract wealthy travelers to the Canadian Rockies by offering an opulent accommodation amidst the breathtaking wilderness, and it worked. Back in 1926, the hotel did suffer a major fire and much of it was destroyed. What followed was a massive rebuild which gives the hotel the now famous castle-like appearance. Probably the coolest thing about this hotel is the 360 dome, where you can actually book a private breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It was the perfect spot to celebrate our birthdays. Talk about incredible food, incredible service, and incredible views. If you'd like to learn more about the Rocky Mountaineer train, I will link their website in the description below. And something that's really handy is that the Hertz car rental is actually across the street from the hotel. So it was really easy for us to get the car rental, drive to Calgary, and it was only an hour and 20 minutes drive, and the views headed out of the park were breathtaking. I want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. You already know that I am a huge fan of Squarespace. I've been selling my vintage finds on my Squarespace website for the last 8 years. And like many of you, I was a little bit overwhelmed with the idea of creating my own website from scratch. But I quickly realized that things have changed, they have come so far, and Squarespace offers you the tools and the knowledge that you need to do it yourself. They have endless options for customizable templates. If your holdup to launching your own website is that you might not know how to do something, Squarespace has you covered. I have used their help center so many times. It has been a lifesaver. Every time there's something that I maybe want to do, but I'm not quite sure how to do it, I have gone to their help center and have been immediately able to find the answers I was looking for. They offer an amazing community of other makers and other users that will share their knowledge with you and help you problem solve and troubleshoot anything. So you will literally have access to years worth of collective user experience. So if you have been on the fence of whether or not you were ready to launch your own website, I promise you, you can do it. If I can do it with no experience, I know that you can too. Head to squarespace.com to start your free trial today. And when you are ready to launch your own website, head to squarespace.com/leftcoast to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. A huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. So the last time that I was in Vancouver, BC was in 1986, and I was only 4 years old. My family went for the World's Fair, and the main thing I remember about that trip is actually the stories that I heard for years afterwards about my 2-year-old baby brother getting lost at the World's Fair. It was a very traumatic experience for both of my parents, and luckily a sweet little old lady was watching him the whole time and she wasn't trying to kidnap him. So everything turned out just fine. In 2010, I went to Victoria for a monument convention with my parents. For those of you who don't know, my dad was a mortician and a funeral director, and so growing up, a lot of times our road trips and our vacations would revolve around going to monument conventions. And it's funny because Jesse also grew up doing road trips, and his revolved around dog shows. His parents were dog show people. So we both had these fun childhood memories of hitting the road and exploring the country, going for specific purposes for our parents. I had been dreaming about doing the Rocky Mountaineer for so many years. This has been a bucket list item since the first time that I ever saw a post about the Rocky Mountaineer. I love nature, and when you combine it with a scenic ride through the mountains and those beautiful windows to look out, I could not wait to get onto that train.
Vancouver was really interesting. It was a larger city than I expected. When we flew in, I realized how big it actually is, because I thought that we were flying over the downtown area because I saw a pretty decent skyline. And then I realized about 2-3 minutes later, that wasn't the downtown area. There was another massive area and it was much larger. So getting around to the thrift stores without having a rental car was a little bit difficult. We ended up taking Uber to and from the different antique stores and thrift stores. Luckily, there was a cluster of antique stores all walking distance on Main Street. That made it a lot easier because we were able to visit 4 or 5 different stores all within a few blocks of each other. One of my favorite things about Vancouver was the food. It was incredible. We had authentic Japanese ramen for my birthday dinner. We had an amazing Italian meal, and we also had a kind of Indian fusion meal. So the food was just out of this world good, and I really, really hope that we get to go back to Vancouver soon. Next time though, we are driving Atlas there and making a whole road trip of it, because that way we're going to be able to get more into the outskirts. Typically when you go to these large cities, the best thrifting tends to be in the metropolitan area, just on the outskirts of the big city. Now you can always find amazing deals in the large cities too, because you're going to have people with a lot of money that can afford to live in the big city that are donating items to those thrift stores. However, I find that when you get on the outskirts of a larger city, that is where you're going to find larger vintage stores, larger thrift stores, and a lot more selection. And of course, the pricing goes down to typically the further away you get from the big city. There were so many more thrift stores and antique stores that I wanted to get to in Vancouver. So if I missed your store or somewhere that you are a vendor or your favorite place to thrift, please drop it in the comments below, because I love for viewers to be able to use these videos as actual guides. So if there are places that I didn't have time to get to, please comment below. So the Rocky Mountaineer trip that we took started in Vancouver, BC. We took it to Kamloops. We had one night overnight in Kamloops, and then it ended in Banff, where we spent a few days sightseeing. Banff is incredible. The first day that we got there though, it was a little bit cloudy and misty, and I was kind of disappointed because you couldn't really see the mountains. But when we woke up the next morning and I opened that window and looked out, my mind was blown. I was like, there's what I've been dreaming of. Beautiful mountains as far as your eyes can see, and I was actually glad we'd come in the mist, because it just made it so much more exciting that next morning when we woke up and went outside. My birthday present that I got this year is a new camera specifically for cinematography for these vlogs, but also for photography. I have been an amateur photographer my entire life. I've dabbled in it here and there, and obviously I make videos, and taking the cinematic style shots are some of my favorite parts about creating these videos for you. So I'm very, very excited to finally have a real photography camera and to be able to push myself and learn and really be able to consider myself a photographer. So I want to show you a few of my favorite pictures that I took in Banff. A lot of people have asked me over the years if I was ever going to sell my photography. Even with my cell phone pictures, they wanted to know if I would ever sell them. When I captured this photo, it kind of inspired me to go ahead and give it a shot and sell the photos. So I'm going to have some of my favorite pictures from each trip that I go on, and they're going to be for sale on my website. It's no big deal. You don't have to buy them. It's just a way for me to use this as a creative outlet, something I'm very passionate about and I want to learn more about and get better at. And so many of us now have computers and phones with screensavers, so I thought maybe this would be a cool opportunity to sell a digital download of my photos, either to be framed or just put on a digital device. I'm not going to talk about the photography all the time, don't worry, but I just want to let you know that from here on out on my website, you'll always be able to find hopefully a few new pictures that I take each trip. So if you want to go check it out, head to leftcoastrevivals.com and you can see them now. Let's get talking about some of the vintage items. So you already know that glass is kind of new for me, and I really am learning a lot about it. And I cannot figure out what I think about these vases. Obviously I like them or I wouldn't have bought them. They were super cheap at the thrift store. The smaller one was only $3.99. I don't think that these are Murano, but I do think that these are Italian glass. And I'm pretty sure that these are actually sandblasted to get this nice soft matte texture. The colors in them are beautiful, the swirl patterns. And when I did some research, I found out that the M on the bottom could possibly be for the size. So it could stand for medium. They could have like small, large, medium available. I found a very similar one online that said it was sandblasted Italian glass and it was signed R. Jowd. Now these are not signed that I can see, so I don't know if it's the same artist, but it looked so very similar in the colors and the style. If you're familiar with this style of glass and have any information to share, please comment below. That would be so helpful. This is one of my favorite Ken Edwards patterns, so it's called the Lotus Flower, and I picked this up for only $2.99. I love Mexican pottery. Every time I come across one of these, I always pick them up. So these pretty little glasses are Czech glass, and when I saw them I immediately thought of mint tea. I was recently talking about the mint tea in Morocco. I still think about that mint tea. I'm on the mission to find the perfect Moroccan mint tea that I can order here at home, and so these will be beautiful glasses to serve it in. I know I'm gonna butcher the name because I don't speak Danish, but Laurids Lonberg, I think that's the name of this brand. It's a Danish company that was prominent in the 1960s and 70s, and it designed and sold items in department stores, and sometimes they were imported. I'm not sure if this specific style was imported into the US, but I think that it was, because I actually come across it every once in a while. I like these candle holders because they're minimalist, they're very simple, mid-century design, and they've got the rattan coiled around the iron, and I just think they are so simple, but also they have such a classic Danish design to them. So I'm a huge fan of these candelabras, and I found this at the thrift store. This is probably one of the most heavy-duty brass scoops I've ever seen. I love it. It's chunky, it's heavy, it's antique. It was only $14.95 at an antique store. It's always neat when you travel to somewhere new and you see things that are made by local artists that you might not see anywhere else. I had never seen this pottery back in the Pacific Northwest. That is one of the reasons why I love to source while I'm traveling, and it's always an opportunity to learn something new. And I even found some beautiful Southwestern pottery. Both of these are signed. This one's unique because it's a Navajo piece and it's done with horsehair. I don't know if any of you have ever seen that method where they actually put the horsehair on it, and then when they fire it, that's how you get that squiggly design. It's a really interesting process. I'd love to see it done in person someday. I love a good abstract design on a plate. This one's really cool because it has that rich terracotta color and then just this black squiggle design. So simple and something that most people might not get excited about, but I love it. And this was only $4 at the thrift store. I'm pretty sure that this is 1990s IKEA. It was only $3 at the thrift, and I think we got 30% off when we picked this one up.
Sweet. I know what that is.
The only reason I knew what this was because I've actually found a red one before. So this is, again, I'm gonna butcher the name, I'm so sorry, but Arica Finland. And I just think this bird's so cute. This was $7.99 at the thrift store, and you're supposed to put the napkins to make it look like it has a tail. And then I think it becomes a turkey. That's my guess. I'm gonna be ready for some entertaining this summer. We have what we kind of consider a summer house. And so we do the majority of our entertaining when we're able to go outside and enjoy the breezeway and the backyard and just chill and relax with our friends and have a dinner party. So I'm very excited to break these out this summer. I pulled out my phone to start filming kind of a panning shot clip. And then all of a sudden I saw this with my eyes and I just beelined straight to it. Nancy was behind me and she saw me and she knew exactly what I was going for. I think this is one of my favorite ice buckets I've ever come across. Now, I know so many of you are gonna say, but what about the penguin ice bucket? And well, I actually do own 2 of the penguin ice buckets. I don't break it out as often as I should. This one is definitely gonna be a regular at our parties. This one fits the design look that I love. And I actually think it's gonna look amazing with the cocktail set.
Here's all the jewelry that I picked up on this trip. First up is this adorable sterling silver owl pendant. This was at Value Village, so it was $14.99. At that same Value Village, I also got this pair of earrings. They've got amber and pearls. They're sterling silver, and they were also $14.99. And then these are actually one of my favorite finds. They're these beautiful sterling earrings. They look very old. There's a lot of patina on the sterling, and they've got these 3 beautiful green stones at the bottom. And I think I only paid $5 Canadian for these. This sterling silver panel bracelet was such a score because they thought that it was broken. I think they just didn't know how the clasp worked. It's got these little prongs here, and the clasp just goes right over it like that. And it's basically a smaller version to the other panels. So this was only a few dollars, and it's solid sterling. And as you can kind of tell, it's chunky and heavy. Such a good deal. This was another Value Village find. It's sterling silver, and it's a brooch pin. A mid-century era copper paneled bracelet. This was only $2 Canadian. This is a fun costume clamper bracelet. It's got giraffe heads, and it was only $2 Canadian. A Mexican sterling wavy bracelet. It actually opens up. It's got a little hinge right here, and it's got kind of that hammered look to it. Sterling silver and bright blue turquoise, probably a Sleeping Beauty turquoise stone little butterfly pin. Some fun multi-stoned Cocapelli sterling earrings. These were another really good find at the thrift store. And then how fun are these yin yang earrings? They're actually alpaca silver, so they're not sterling silver, made in Mexico, and they've got crushed turquoise stones. And I love the fringe. They're really fun. So even though they're not sterling, that makes them not as valuable, but I still think they are awesome. And I found them at a thrift store. And this beautiful sterling and black onyx bracelet was only $19.99. I love the patina on it. And then the find of the trip, the Roadrunner bolo tie. I love this thing. I can't believe I found it at a thrift store for so cheap. It is signed here on the back, and I'm pretty sure that I was able to find the artist. I'll pop in some very similar comps. I only paid $25 Canadian for this. Can you believe it? Oh, and it's got sterling little pieces here at the end of the bolo tie. Such a cool find. I was giddy after finding this. And I wanted to quickly show you a few of the things that I bring with me when I travel to make sure that I can identify jewelry easily. First of all, I bring these little mesh bags to keep everything organized so that necklaces don't get tangled up with each other. All of these items will be linked in the description, so if you want to check them out and get the exact ones, I've got them linked for you. A little tape measure. This is so handy. You gotta have a tape measure. A magnet keychain. This helps with testing metals. And then the most important part, the jewelry loop. This is what I use for identifying very hard to read signatures and stamps. Super important. Always travel with one of these.
Thank you so much for coming on this amazing adventure in Canada with us. And we have to give a major shout out to everybody in Canada that we met because you were so warm, so kind, and so welcoming. And we cannot wait to plan another trip to come back. All right, I think that's it. I hope you are having a wonderful day wherever you are, and we will see you in a brand new adventure here very soon. Oh, I'm really glad you did not fall off. No one is falling off the building for the shot. That's not happening
There's a
today.
safety figure. Now my legs are open.
Oh no, yeah, he's not a heights guy. Well, anyways, hello, welcome to Calgary.
Welcome to Calgary.